Hello everyone, it's me, Juan Gamers 4 back in video, and today, yes, I know, you see the title, and yep, didn't think that this was gonna be the case, but it is. We're trying to get this thing done, to be honest. We're trying to get everything involving Fazbear, Frights, and Tales from the Pizzaplex done, and well, I wasn't really doing a good job on that. But we're here now, so we're gonna be discussing about Bunny Call, and what I think about the story, and what we can do. What do we learn? What do we know? Learn from Bunny Call. Again, if you haven't read Bunny Call, you can check it out on the second channel. That's where I've been doing the read-throughs, and I just got done with Bunny Call, and we're right now, as this moment of this video, we're just about starting about the real Jake. So, well, so there's not really a reason why you shouldn't check out the second channel because, well, that's where you get all the read-throughs of Tales from the Pizzaplex as well as Fazbear Frights. So without further ado, let's sit back, relax, as I tell you what is Bunny Call. So what is the story of Bunny Call, right? So check it out. Bunny Call starts like this. Our main character happens to be Bob. Bob, who is a father who feels overwhelmed and frustrated. He loves his family, but having to juggle work, 3 kids, and his wife Wanda wanting him to be a family man is taking a toll on him. After 12 years of marriage, Wanda has retained her pretty, perky features while Bob's jockey features have faded, being replaced with age. Tired features. A couple months ago, Wanda's friend told her about Camp Antietam, I think. Bob tried to talk her out of going and instead send the kids somewhere else while the couples relax together, but Wanda refuses. Now the family's traveling to Camp Atina for a week. Bob is first hopeful because of the rainy weather, but it turns out sunny during the drive there. So basically, Bob is, he loves his family, but they do take a toll on him. So, dang. Bob works in an architectural firm and can sense that when the Earth welcomes a structure, and he can feel that Lake Mena didn't support Camp Athena. He's also quick to point out that Native American names being used belong to tribes that didn't live anywhere near the camp. Wanda and the kids go to scoop out the camp while Bob signs the family up for a schedule of activities they choose. The woman at the front desk minimizes their list, then quietly asks if he wants to sign up for Bunny Call. That's the name of the title. Between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., a tall rabbit named Ralpho will visit the camp. Screaming, clashing cymbals, and spinning his head, wanting revenge on his family, Bob agrees to sign up. So yes, this whole story began because Bob just wanted to get some peace in mind. He decided to pull a little prank on his wife and 3 kids. I'm sure that's not going to backfire on him anytime soon. Bob and Aaron, one of his kids, find a trapdoor leaning on a cabinet's crawl space, adding to the weird vibe that the cabin gives off. Bob forced to join the opening day picnic, darts, horseshoes, a card game, and large campfire. At night, Wanda and the kids wear earplugs and sleep masks due to everyone but Bob having loud snoring. The boys enter the loft and fall asleep instantly, while Cindy falls asleep in Bob's arms after the story. Holding his daughter reminds him of the teddy bear he used to snuggle, which calms him down. Wanda put in Cindy's earplugs and goes to bed while Bob stays up. He hears a howl and thinks it's thinking of his father, who had told Bob that it could either symbolize death or rebirth. Bob soaks in the peaceful moment until he remembers Ralpho, and he regrets having been so selfish and childish. Bob has a nightmare about Ralpho not long after falling asleep. The only way to contact counselors is through the emergency bell outside the cabinet, but he didn't think the situation calls for it. Bob stays up, constantly checking his watch until it's 5 a.m. He goes outside and approaches someone smoking at the playground, and the man reveals he had signed up for Bunny Call too. Bob tells the man, Philip, about when he shot a basketball in his mother's collection of baskets, which fell and shattered all but one of her china teacups, and he parallels that to Bunny Call. Philip revealed that his mother died when he was 5 and his father became neglectful, and now he feels like he's becoming just like him. Philip walks away and Bob goes to stop Bunny Call. Bob runs through the woods to reach the lodge, but when he gets there it's completely dark. A gust of wind blows through the trees and Bob runs back to Camp Nutta. Hearing sounds that he thinks are symbols, suddenly the sound stops. but Bob kept running, eventually making it back to the cabinet. Once inside, there was a knock on the door. Bob tells Ralphie that he decided to cancel the bunny call, and Ralphie nods and walks away. Wanda gets up, and Bob uses his pen light to guide her to the bathroom. As he does that, he hears shuffle sounds outside, and once Wanda goes back to sleep, the doorknob begins to jiggle. Bob quickly shoves the chair under the doorknob just as it's being opened, and when Ralphie slides his hand through, Bob punches it. Ralphie tries to break in through the window, and as Bob is beating him with a tennis racket, he notices blood on his paw. Ralphie doesn't acknowledge Bob's concerns as he shoves Ralphie out the window. Ralphie tries another window, but Ralphie slams it shut, making his paw bleed worse. Bob hurries to the lock to the final window, fighting with Ralphie as the faint pre-drawn light rises. He instead tries to enter through the trap door, but Bob drags a chest over it, using a quote of not to wake his family. With 4 minutes left and Ralphie gone, Bob pulls the chest back, folds the quilts, and cleans up all of Ralphie's blood. Stuffing the paper towels in his pocket, he then hears a noise and remembers the loft window. By the time Bob reaches the top of the ladder, Ralphie was already halfway inside. Suddenly, Ralphie stops as the Dawn arrives outside, and he backs out the window. So, my man was basically fighting against Ralphie all night. Right up to 6 a.m. Aaron wakes up to find Bob hanging on the ladder, and he tells him that it's 6. Bob begins to cry as Tyler and Cindy wake up, and he embraces his two sons with a tight hug. He climbs down to pick Cindy up and fly her around the cabin like a bee, and he flies over to the shocked Wanda to give both a long hug. He hugs his two sons again before spinning Wanda into a dance. As they head to the main log of breakfast, Bob sees the world brighter and takes in all the nature around him. While eating pancakes, the owner of Camp Infinite stands up to make a few announcements. The first is an apology for those who signed up for Buddy Call, as the counselor who usually does them overslept and Ralphie wasn't able to make his rounds. Bob stares at the owner as his family enjoys their breakfast. So, yeah. A lot of things. So, the person... So, you mean tell me that Ralph, the person, was supposed to be a suit, right? But he overslept. So, what does this really tells us about the Ralph character that we've been reading through Bunny Call? Well, there is a speculation, but I'm not sure. Because the story makes it seem unknown if Ruffle was either a costume worn by someone who's, let's be honest, most likely is a William disciple, or it's just an animatronic being controlled by some supernatural force like maybe Remnant or Agony. Because, let's be honest, it's been showing us a lot, with Fazbear Frights, they've been showing us lots of Remnant, Agony, so I wouldn't really put a pass on any of that. Ruffle's ability to bleed sparks fans' attention to the body. Many theorize that Ruffle could be controlled, possessed by a supernatural force. And, the fact that he's bleeding makes it seem that he's just more than just a soul. Like, it's unclear, really. Like, I'm pretty sure... because there are some... Like, the fact that he's bleeding makes it seem like someone's in the suit, right? But, at the other hand, the fact that... It's the fact that, the person who's supposed to wear the Ralph costume just overslept. So it's either something like, I don't know, Remnant or Agony that's possessing the suit, and it's just the suit walking around, or it's someone else. Maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe Jason Voorhees decided to show up and wear the Ralph clothing. Maybe he wants to try something new than his usual hockey mask. Maybe. But I will say this, that this is the second story in the series that introduced new characters. The first one being Fetch from book 2, which is basically named in book 2 in Fazbear Frights was called Fetch, and that's where we're introduced to the dog animatronic. And now this is the second time we meet a new character, Ralpho, who's the buddy call, as in the title of this story. And notice also that I never mentioned once of a Fazbear pizzeria, because there was no pizzeria mentioned in this story. But considering that what we know now, like considering what Fall Fest, I wouldn't put it past them that maybe Ralpho was once. I think maybe, just maybe, the bunny call, like Ralpho, was just one of those animatronics that was made during Fall Fest. Like, I don't have a concrete evidence on that, but it's just more speculation. But I feel like, considering that maybe in Fall Fest we'll see like a, I don't know, like a suit, like handmade suit versions of Spring, Bonnie, and Fredbear, I wouldn't put it past them that they also made like an orange bunny named Ralpho. Maybe? We'll just have to see next year because, like, that's where Secrets of the Mimic is going to show up, and I can't wait, to be honest. And, I will say that while reading the story, this gave me a little bit of a, like, callback from FNAF 4. Well, mainly the entirety of, basically the main game, the main game aspects of Five Nights at Freddy's, like staying up till like 6 a.m. and dodging, basically avoiding getting caught by the monster. In this case, being Ralpho. But again, but yeah, it does kind of feel a little bit too much closely to FNAF 4. But hmm, what else can I take about this? Oh yeah, I think I'm not sure if it's true, but I think that Scott Coffin himself said that this story, Bunny Call, was his favorite one, due to it being based on a true event. Yeah, this story was a true event. Like this happened IRL. Um, I think yeah, basically according to Scott Coffin himself, the inspiration of the story came from when he went camping with his wife and kids. And there was something he signed himself up along with his family called the Panda Call. If you sign up for Panda Call really early in the morning, camp staff would dress up in killer clown costumes to scare the kids and wake them up early for activities. And later that night, Scotty C described him feeling like he was made a big, irreversible mistake signing up for it, and felt extremely tense while waiting for the Panda Call to begin. When the counselors eventually did show up in the cabinet and doing the killer clown costume, Sky C simply told him he changed his mind and they move on to the next place. Scott has said the eerie feeling of waiting for something that felt irreversible was something that he greatly wanted to put in the Fazbear, the FNAF lore, essentially. He wanted to put this type of, tense feeling of waiting for, you know, the inevitable to happen in the Fazbear, in Five Nights at Freddy's history. So he put it here in this book. And it was, and the fact that he made it like made Bob and the family go camping just like his family did, that was also pretty cool to say the least. I don't know. I don't know. That's very interesting to say. Panda call, bunny call. I see it. I see it. But yeah, guys. That's the end of that's bunny call for you. Oh, it's what I think about. Well, I think about it. I think it was a great story. I think it's a good story. It's just and it also ended well. Like in the end, no one really died. To be honest, Bob saved his family. But it does leave you with a question in your head that was Ralpho really Ralpho? Like, was it just, an animatronic that somehow bleeds? Or was it actually, or does the camp need to do a background check on their employees and find out that one of them is not trying to be a William disciple or maybe Jason Voorhees? I know Jason Voorhees is not included in all this, but I mean, hey man, maybe it could be Michael Myers. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts about Bunny Call. So, yeah. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below what do you guys think. And subscribe to the channel because we got a lot of reaction videos coming up as well as more discussions about Fazbear Frights and Tales from the Pizzaplex and their stories. The next episode will be appearing on the second channel, so you can also subscribe to the second channel as well. That's where you can also find the read-throughs of all the past stories. The Real Jake is coming up soon, as well as we're starting Clephophobia that has Ballora in it. So that's going to be interesting to read. This is Juan Gamer 54 signing off.